I mean, I was with my father when he died. My sister and I were right there.
What was that like?
Big.
Mm.
I knew he was still there. And then I knew that he was gone, but I could not tell you exactly when that happened, even though I was a couple inches away from him. I don't know if there is such a thing as a good death. I think that death might not be great on average, but I think my father that was good. That was a good way to go. But it did change me. I realized people aren't here forever. People die. And I was not one of them yet.
You were only mythically dead.
Yes. And that I had an awful lot to be alive about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a wonderful experience after my father passed. I went to Antarctica. I'm always going far flung, right? And I got to the literal edge of the world. And I was at the bow of the ship staring at an ice sheet that was, I don't even know how many zillion miles long. It was at the edge of the actual universe.
Yeah.
And my father was in the Navy, and he absolutely would have loved that experience. And I'm sitting there all alone, and I absolutely felt him standing next to me. I mean, it didn't even feel strange. It was just, he is absolutely here.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of sat with him for a while. And then I very clearly felt him say, "What the hell are you doing?" What are you doing? And he was telling me to go back to the world. I'm getting sad. I just still miss that guy. Oof. He was telling me to go back to the world and share, to participate, because I hadn't, I had gone away for so many years. And I think he was saying, for better or worse, get back in the game, share yourself.
Yeah. You have something worth sharing.
Yeah. That's kind of when things changed for me. But, as you see, it still works on me. I wish you were here.
I lost my father about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I get the same emotional reaction every once in a while. And I will say, and it sounds terribly woo-woo, but I 100% go through periods of time or certain circumstances where I absolutely feel my father with me. I have this little meditation bench I've talked about on the show, and pray and meditate. And sometimes I just feel him right there. Sometimes there was a time a few months ago I was making coffee and I just knew he was just right there.
You want to hear a wild story?
Yes.
So I moved. One of the things I did, one of the best things I ever did for my mental health, was I left New York City.
Okay.
I'm not a person who is attuned to live there.
Okay.
Never was. I grew up in the woods in Pennsylvania. Okay. So I moved to upstate New York. I live off-grid, halfway up a mountain in upstate New York.
Nice.
And the reason I got there is I was camping, and I had a dream that I was turning into a moth, and then my wings would turn into ash, and then I would turn into a moth, and my wings would turn into a very vivid dream. And I woke up in the middle of upstate New York somewhere, and I went to get gas, and again, my father's voice, right? My father had a very deep voice, so it was very clear that it was him talking to me. And he said, "Go behind the gas station." So I was like, all right, whatever, dude. So I got gas, and I went behind the gas station where there were 100 monarch butterflies all drinking from a puddle. And I went over to get the Insta photo, and they Batmaned me, I was like, well, that's a sign, even though I don't believe in that shit. That's a sign. So I started looking around for property there, and I found a piece of property, and I camped on it that night, and I put in an offer the next day. The day after that, right up the street, I saw Burns Road. So I went up and I met Old Man Burns, and the Burnses founded the town.
Oh, man.
And I took a picture of Old Man Burns, and he looked so much like my grandfather that when I sent it to my sister, she wept. So I feel like my dad told me to go up there.
To go to the Burns homestead.
Now, we don't know that we're related.
Sure, of course.
But I'm just going to say that we are.
Okay.
I'm just going with that.
Fair enough.
So I feel very led to the life that I have right now.
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
even though I don't believe in that, but I still feel it.
That's amazing.
The Soul Boom Podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your stupid podcasts.